Hi everyone, just want to share with you a junk journal smash book that I made for my daughter who is graduating from 8th grade, and I made this for her to use through high school and maybe even college, but to just keep her memorabilia in. And I've been working on it for a few months, and I just want to share it with you real quick. I'll try and go quickly because it is a little bit thick, but I will also try and go over a couple of areas of issues that I had. And if you have any advice or try and help you through preventing the same type of issues. The first one being that I made my covers a little bit too small. My pages are 8.5 by 11, and I made my covers just a smidge bigger than that. But as you can see, they don't, with the binding, and I used my Bind It All, they don't come quite all the way over, and especially the back cover. Even though the cover itself is bigger than the pages, due to the binding, it really is a little bit short. So my advice would be, when making these chipboard covers, is to add an extra, probably 1/2 inch to the size of the paper. I think I added about 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch more, and it wasn't nearly enough, so I need at least another 1/4 of an inch over here. But this is her book, and I do love the way that the cover came out. I did a mixed media cover and used a Susie Blue stamp actually and enlarged it. I scanned it into my computer and then enlarged it on the computer, printed it out, colored it, and did some paper piecing. And just did a lot of other paper piecing and some stamping, and used the Faber-Castell Indian ink pens to blend the papers in a little bit. And added just a few little fibers and made this charm to match the front of it. And this little charm actually opens up, and she could put something inside there. But I will start going through it here. Just a lot of tags and places for her to put journaling, and pockets for her to keep stuff in. Just a couple of little tags here. These are just little coin envelopes that I covered. When I got all done with the book, I went through and tried to add several quotes. And this one, she's a dancer, and it says, "Everything in the universe has a rhythm and everything dances." So there's 2 little coin envelopes. Made a pocket there. And then this was just a really pretty piece of ballerina paper, and just cut out some words and ran them down the side. I'm going to give this to her as her 8th grade graduation gift, and going to give her some of the smash tape and date stamp and things like that, so that she can keep track of everything. This was just an envelope that I had cut and embellished. You'll see several different pieces of paper like this throughout the book, and I'll actually show you the pad that I used for that. It was a K & Company pad of paper, and it worked out great. I just used my Bind It All, rounded the corners, and so I was able to stick several of those pages in there, just for extra journaling. And this was an office envelope I had used. She's very into music, so I had put some music quotes in here. And it also has a little pocket at the top, so she can put her music programs in there, whatever she wants to keep in there. Put that back in there. And the quotes, "Life is one grand sweet song, so start the music." That was by Ronald Reagan. "Jazz will endure as long as the people hear it through their feet instead of their brains." And that was from John Philip Sousa. And music washes away music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Oh, whoops! I put the clip on there backwards. And this was a piece of paper I got from my girlfriend Kim, and I just really loved it, so I just put a photo mat and a journaling spot on there. I made a couple pages that were just pockets, and my daughter loves Helen Keller, so I put a Helen Keller quote on here: "Life is either a daring adventure or nothing." And I actually had a piece of clip art of Helen Keller, and so I just put the word hope on there and printed that out. Another envelope, a couple more of those pages. This is just a blank page for her to add stuff to. Another pocket. If you love life, it will love you back. I took some seam binding and just stamped on it and added the paper clips so she can add little pieces in there. Another pocket. Let's get those in there. And just added a few little flags there. Some more pockets with little tags that she can fill out. This was my favorite layout. I just love this. I did a little twist. She can put a photo there and some journaling, and I put it punched out and put it a piece of what is that called? I can't think of the name of the paper. It'll come to me in a second. And some stamping, and then made some tags to go in this little pocket. I just colored a doily and mulberry paper and put that on a piece of vellum and put that on here. And this was just another piece of clip art that I had. And I had gotten these flowers. They were cream, and I just glimmer misted them. I got these on sale at Michael's. I wish I would have bought more of them because I absolutely love them. But this was my favorite layout. And then this was a page for all of her girlfriends or whoever, just to autograph or sign or jot a little note in. It says, "We'll be friends until forever, just you wait and see." And really love this stamp. Colored that. Actually got this off of a pair of jeans that we bought, and I just put friends on there, but I loved the colors and it coordinated with the colors I had used on the stamp. So like that. My daughter really likes nature, so I did a kind of a nature page. Made these tags and distressed and inked and put some rub-ons on the butterfly. Just did a lot of inking, made a little flower, and it says, "A light wind swept over the earth and all nature danced or laughed in the sunshine." And this was actually an envelope again that I found at the store of National Forest, so I just made a little pocket out of it. Trying to go quickly here. I incorporated then some of her artwork from like preschool and kindergarten. So this was a piece, and I just Mod Podged that on the back of there, and actually painted a little black border. And I love this paper. It's from A Colorful Life, from Die Cuts with a View, but I made a pocket out of it. It says, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist when we grow up," by Pablo Picasso. And I incorporated, again, more of her work, but then I incorporated some Bristol paper for her to do artwork on. A couple more pieces for her to do artwork on. Another piece from when she was little. And as I was going through her bin of stuff, I had just a ton of stuff, but I was going through her bin of stuff from when she was little, and I found this like 100-page journal. It must have been from kindergarten. But it says Mia's journal, and I just took a couple of the pages out. It says, "I am Mia. This is my house. I like green grapes." And they're date stamped from back then, 2004. "I went to the fireworks. I love Ian and Anya, who are her brother and sister. And I planted a flower." And then in the back of the journal there was a bunch of blank paper, so I included several sheets of the blank paper. I put the cover from her kindergarten penmanship book, and just put her name page in there. And again, oh, this was from 2003. I don't know if that was preschool or kindergarten. But it had a bunch of blank pages in there as well of the old school lined paper, so I put those in there. Hope I'm not going too fast. And then I just thought that this piece of paper went with what I was doing pretty well, and I added a quote from Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh. It says, "You are stronger than you seem, braver than you believe, and smarter than you think." She loves donuts, so I had to incorporate this piece, and I just put happiness as a choice. Choose happy. She's also a tennis player. Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance. And this page says, "Be sure to put your feet in the right place, then stand firm," by Abraham Lincoln. Ooh, I think I'm blocking the light. Just a little tag in there. It's just a piece of vellum, and she loves old typewriters, so I wanted to incorporate that piece in there. Last music page, and again the back. Should have made that just a little bit bigger. Just covered some chipboard. It got a little bit thick, so the other thing I had trouble with was binding it with my Bind It All. I used the biggest O-rings that they have, which are the 1 1/4 inch. And the first time I bound it, it did not work at all. I thought I had the rings in backwards, but I actually didn't, so I did it again, and it came out okay. I don't know if the problem was that the book was so thick, but I don't know if you can see this. The rings didn't come out perfectly circular, which is okay, I guess, but I like things to be perfect. And so I don't know if anyone has any advice as to how to make these bigger rings come out in a better circle. I don't seem to have quite as much problem using the smaller, like the 3/4 inch O-wire. But when all is said and done, I really like how it came out. I hope that she likes it, and we'll be able to use it over the next several years to put her memorabilia in. And I also put her name on here. I had got little wood chips from the craft store that were very inexpensive, and just paper pieced on top of them, and then inked the sides and put some crackle accents over it. And I really like the way that those came out, because I had the space over here. I wasn't sure quite what to do with that. So I will just give you a little bit of a close-up of the cover. And I'm just really excited about giving it to her and sharing it with you all. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.